Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Go ahead, Ricky.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
All right. So it's coming up there. Good. It's good. Okay. All right. Cool. I'll listen back to it.
You want me to keep it on the stream?
Yeah, just keep it on. I got it. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check. Excuse the. Excuse the late notice. Start time will be 7:30 for tonight's game. 7:30. Hello and welcome into Leesburg Lightning Baseball alongside my partner Ricky Potts, Vic Massley here at Pat Thomas Stadium, beautiful Buddy Lowe Field for the series finale in a 4-game series against the Winter Garden Squeeze and the Leesburg Lightning. So far on the year, the Lightning coming into this game 11-7, and flip that over, the Winter Garden Squeeze are 7-11. As it stands, Leesburg is tied for second place with the Orlando Snappers. They are both 6 games behind the Sanford River Rats, who are 17-1. On Saturday, they captured their 15th consecutive victory. That marks a new record over the Florida League for most consecutive victories that Leesburg once held at 14 games back in 2018. And oddly enough, the Lightning would lose that first game back in 2018 and then go on to win 14 straight. And the River Rats won the first two games against the Lightning this season, lost to the Lightning, and then went 15 in a row, and that's where they stand now. So 17-1, they're in first place, and the Snappers Lightning tied for second place at 11-7. In terms of the Squeeze versus the Lightning are 3-2 against Winter Garden, and they've outscored them 30-26 in their first 5 games. And on Saturday, the Lightning picked up that third victory. It was a 5-2 win. Saw a very sound night from both the pitching staff and the bats for the Lightning. Put up a 3 spot like they have been doing all season long, putting up a crooked number. That came back in the 3rd inning, and that actually answered the Squeeze's two runs put up back in the top of the 3rd inning. Then Leesburg started with a run in the 2nd inning. I do apologize, but the Squeeze, like they have been doing this whole series, and even in the last series against the Lightning, they answered back with 2 runs in the top of the 3rd. The Lightning came back with that 3 spot. And then in the 7th, Leesburg was able to add 1 more, but it was the pitching staff that was absolutely lights out. Dustin Dunlap started, went 3 innings, did give up 2 earned runs, but he did look better than some of his previous starts where he struggled. Brian Bertoft, amazing as usual, 2 innings pitched, a hit given up. No runs, no walks, a strikeout. Steven Rojas was great in his 2 innings pitched, got 3 strikeouts. Tip Moore had a strikeout in his lone inning, and TJ Sokoroff struck out the side with a walk mixed in, and he would get his 2nd save and give the Lightning their 11th win of the season. So, Ricky, we saw a good one on Saturday, and we saw a good doubleheader, 2 games in the doubleheader where the 2 teams split.
Yeah, so this is going to be game number 6 of 2025 between the Lightning and the Squeeze. Obviously, like we talked about yesterday, this actually marks the halfway point, or I guess making it over the halfway point of this summer for both of these teams. Game number 19 out of 36, and actually yesterday it was marked by, like you said, response, which has kind of been the theme for both of these squads all summer long, and they've been able to either put runs on the board or tighten up their pitching when they've needed to. So we'll see if they can continue that. But looking at yesterday's pitching, their starter Gabriel Vargas, who made his first appearance of the season for the Winter Garden Squeeze, went 4 full innings, only allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those earned, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. So not too bad for your first start of the summer. I'm sure he must have had, at least a month or so off from live baseball. A lot of these guys, whenever they get here, they got to, readjust themselves to live baseball since they have been off from the collegiate season. But nonetheless, we'll see how game 6 turns out here against the Leesburg Lightning for the Squeeze. And so far, if I'm not mistaken, Leesburg has a 3-2 lead over the Lightning. Yes, 3-2 lead in the season series. So Winter Garden not only a chance to tie up this 4-game series, but also to tie up the season series against them as well. Taking a look at the starting lineup today for the Winter Garden Squeeze, left fielder Nico Banez will be leading off. He's led off before, but we'll see him return to the starting lineup tonight. Second baseman Jordan Marlowe, as always, batting in the 2-hole. And your first time getting to see center fielder Andrew Duncan, he'll be batting 3rd. And then the back-to-back Fcsl Player of the Week, Drew Pines, will be extra hitting, getting a day off from the backstop. He'll be batting cleanup. First baseman Sean Stafford, as always, he'll be playing first base, batting 5th. Zacharias Walker playing right field today and batting number 6. And rounding out the lineup will be shortstop Isaac Incinelli, catcher Derek Lopez at the 8-hole, and extra hitter Jack Waddingham, followed by the third baseman Javier Calzadilla. Calzadilla has typically played on that left side of the infield, whether it's been shortstop or third base. So we'll see if the Squeeze can tie things up here against the Leesburg Lightning, and I'll get into the starting pitcher, Andrew Fury, who actually just won Pitcher of the Week for the Fcsl week number 3 later on whenever he takes the mound.
And as for the Lightning, they will lead it off with Eli Thurman back in the lineup after missing about 3 games, so good to see him back. He will play in center field, followed by Julian Irizarry, who will move from center to left field and bat second. Cole Bullen swinging a hot stick. He is the Lightning Player of the Week. He is behind the plate, catching up Tanner Walker. We'll talk more about him later. James Strom, also back in the lineup after a couple days off, was feeling under the weather, but back hitting in the cleanup spot and playing first base for the Lightning. Charlie Keller will hit fifth and play in right field, followed by Ryan Jenkins, moves down to the 6th hole, and he'll play third. The extra hitter, Marco Moises, will bat 7th. TJ Sokros will play short and bat 8th. Nick Wroblewski will bat 9th. He is also the extra hitter. And rounding out the order for the Lightning, it's Ledger Pleasant batting 10th and playing at second base. Once again for Leesburg, Thurman, Irizarry, Bullen, Strom, Keller, Jenkins, Moises, Sokros, Wroblewski, and Pleasant. Obviously a later start to tonight's evening. Field was still wet after a good bit of rain actually here in Leesburg. A couple puddles on the field, but Michael T., our amazing groundskeeper, did a good job of using a little bit of not a lawnmower, just a leaf blower to kind of move around all the water and get that spread out. And it was Coach Billings Sr., and Tanner Clark, the 3 coaches for the Lightning, all out there helping Michael T. on the field, laying down some more dirt to soak up that water, raking the field, as well as just tending to it in any way they could to help out. So it was good to see all 3 coaches come together to help out Michael T. Of course, he's the lone man. Grounds crew has just a few guys that help him out here and there, but really good to see all 3 of them helping out Michael T. and getting this field ready to go. And it looks really good considering what it looked like just a couple of hours ago, and the sun has obviously helped with that. So the home plate meeting breaks up between the 2 coaches. We're just about to get underway here. Of course, we'll have the national anthem. We'll step aside for that. Looking more into the Lightning so far, they've scored a total of 123 runs coming into this game. 18 games played. Ricky said before that is the halfway mark. So with this game 19, we are officially more than halfway through the season. Still no triples for the Lightning, which is a little bit odd to see. Only had 3 last year. 4 the year before that, but then 8 back in 2022. So just thought that was a little bit of something that was surprising. Also surprising is just the 6 home runs. Last year the Lightning had 22. The year before that 10, so they are on pace to break 10 at least. 13 in 2022, 2021 they had 21, and even in the COVID year where they played just 27 games, they had 10 home runs. So would love to see some power come out from this Lightning order that has done a great job at getting guys on and getting runs around. Just haven't provided that much extra base hit power, but still a lot of baseball left to be played. And the Lightning look ahead tomorrow. They'll play the Suns here at Pat Thomas Stadium. That game's at 7, and then they get geared up for a 3-game series versus the red-hot Sanford River Rats Thursday through Saturday. So that should be a wing-ding. We'll have 1 game at Pat Thomas Stadium on Friday, and Saturday and Thursday games will both be in Sanford. And that's going to be a really big test, the first real test for the Lightning.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can stop this 2025 Sanford River Rats team. I mean, they've only lost 1 time all year, and for them to pull off 15 straight victories, that's just a testament to the talent that they have on that team and just overall the consistency that we've seen from them. They have so many good hitters, and even if they don't get home runs every single game, you know that they're going to be batting for average, putting balls out into the outfield grass, and they've just been scoring runs at such a high rate. So we'll see if anybody can dethrone as of right now, they've got to be the championship favorites.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they almost have already locked up a playoff spot, it would seem like. And looking at this date specifically, June 23rd in Lightning baseball history, they have faced the Squeeze for the last 3 times on this date. They have faced the Squeeze. A doubleheader in 2023, did not play last year on this date in 2024, and then a single game on June 23rd, 2022. The Lightning won that game in 2022, lost the first game of the doubleheader in 2023, won the first game of the doubleheader in 2023 and lost the second game 2-6. A little interesting fact here too. Back in 2022, the losing pitcher for the Winter Garden Squeeze was Clayton Borowski. And then the next year, he actually won the game.
Wow.
That was for the Lightning. He got the win, an 11-4 victory. So a little bit odd to see that. I think that obviously he was with this squeeze.
Yeah.
And the site was in Orlando despite it being a home game. Not really sure why, but that was a couple of years ago. So just a couple tidbits before we head into this ball game. Lightning have pretty good success on June 23rd. Looking at anything big, not too much. 2 home runs allowed in 2015 at DeLand, 4 runs allowed to the Suns in 2012. So just a little bit of information that I thought I should share.
Well, and it's interesting because sometimes, maybe it's, I don't know if it's venue scheduling or what exactly is the cause for sometimes teams having to play neutral site games, but I know the Squeeze had to play a game over in Sanford against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs, and I believe they'll have another game in Sanford in the month of July. I have to look back up who that is against, but nonetheless, yeah, I'm assuming it's got to be either venue scheduling or something along those lines that causes teams to not be able to play on their home field. But nonetheless, we're here at one of the best ballparks in the entire Florida Collegiate Summer League, and I mean, we've seen homers here, and we've seen the Lightning just always find a way to keep themselves in contests and respond all throughout. But now that we're over halfway through the season, we're really going to have to start seeing these teams, try to keep themselves from getting into several run deficits early on, because come playoff time, that could come back to hurt you.
Yeah, we've already seen the all of the defenses across the league really tighten up a little bit. There haven't been as many errors, haven't seen as many wild pitches or pass balls like we saw in the first couple of weeks. Things are starting to mellow out a little bit. Team chemistry is starting to be built, and it's proved to be really refreshing for the Lightning because of all the runs they gave up at the start, and now we're seeing a lot better pitching, and the hitting has still been really good for them. So with all the teams announced and the Lightning on the field, we'll step aside for the national anthem, but when we come back, it's the Lightning versus Squeeze, Game 4. The Lightning looking for the series win when we come back. Welcome back to Pat Thomas Stadium. Moments away from first pitch, a delayed first pitch due to some rain still being on the field, but I said before, great job by the grounds crew and by all 3 coaches helping grounds crewman Michael T. work on the field and get it ready for first pitch. Tanner Walker is the pitcher for the Lightning. The battery, Tanner Walker, Cole Bullen behind home plate. So far, it's been tough sledding for Walker. Has a ERA a little bit over a 10 in his 4 appearances, 0-1 so far. Has pitched just 6 innings, but has given up 9 hits and 7 earned runs, 7 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Walker stands at 6'2", 225 out of Florida A&M University and out of Eustis, Florida. Not too far away at all, right down the road, right down 441. His last outing was better than his previous 3. That was a start. Only one of them hasn't been a start. Pitched 2 innings, gave up 1 earned run on 3 hits, a home run, a walk, and a strikeout. That was in the doubleheader game against the Snappers, and he pitched Game 2. Lightning would go on to win that Game 2 in a like like I said before, a much better outing than his first 3. One of this starts on the 10th, gave up 3 earned runs in just an inning. That was before the game got delayed, and then he was eventually taken out of the game. But it is still early. I know we're a little bit over halfway with the start of this game, but it's still early and still plenty of time for Tanner Walker to get settled in and to finish the rest of the way strong, as he's been one of the go-to starting pitchers for Coach Billings. The other night we saw Dustin Dunlap, I do believe.
Yep.
So we saw Dustin Dunlap. I don't know why my memory.
No worries.
Like
yeah,
that.
it was Dunlap versus Vargas.
Yeah, and we've also seen Ethan Barrett start a game as well. Riley Fitzgerald started a couple. Zach Merkin has been a mainstay. He's been really good. Gunnar Plante also has started a game. But today, it's Tanner Walker's opportunity to start against the Squeeze and hopefully give the Lightning a series win in a 4-game set, a doubleheader back on Friday. A single game on Saturday here at Pat Thomas Stadium. The Lightning won, and then there's tonight. Walker comes set, working out of the stretch. Nico Banez, the first batter. The first pitch just misses off the plate, and we are underway at Pat Thomas Stadium. A beautiful evening here and a great crowd. Some people might not expect that on a Monday night, but up here we do expect that. Fouled away, the second pitch.
Yeah, easily got to be the best average fan turnout across the entire league. But taking a look at Nico's numbers for the summer, in his 9 games played, 7 hits in 22 at-bats, 4 runs scored, a double, 2 RBIs, 5 walks. So he's batting .318, so he's been very consistent since arriving just a little late for head coach Mike McDaniel. And he's been a consistent outfielder when he has been inserted into the starting lineup, typically in center or left, not really in right. Sometimes if he gets substituted in to right field midway through a game, but typically he plays over on the left side.
Banez pinch hit for Weckman in the game on Saturday and eventually played left field, like you just said. Went 0 for 1, but we saw him in both games of the doubleheader, I believe. Swung on and missed. Tanner Walker gets him with a nasty breaking ball, and Cole Bullen puts the final touches on a first at-bat strikeout from Tanner Walker. A great breaking ball, a lot of horizontal and some vertical break. And it just looked absolutely beautiful. Almost corkscrewed Banez into the ground, and that will bring up Jordan Marlowe. Marlowe went 0 for 3 back on Saturday. Very quiet night for him.
Yeah, Marlowe obviously has quieted down since that game when he went 3 for 4 against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs about a week ago at this point. But we'll look to see if he can keep the bat hot.
First pitch strike onto the Squeeze second baseman.
Taking a look at the 18-year-old's numbers so far for head coach Mike McDaniel, batting .243.
Marlowe swings and misses again. He was a busy guy in that game on Saturday. A ton of ground balls hit his way. And Incinelli at short was probably feeling a little bit lonely. Not much action towards him. Quickly an 0-2 count for Marlowe. Trying to dig out of a hole. Here it is from Walker, and misses up and away.
Yeah, good watch there by Jordan, just letting that one slide up and away. But, yeah, the University of West Georgia commit so far has 9 hits, 8 runs scored, 3 doubles, 6 RBIs, 13 walks.
1-2 misses again away. Count evens up.
So very mature plate discipline for someone so young.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Marlowe. Here it is from Walker. Popped up, left field. Irizarry shades over and in foul ground, makes the grab, 2 down.
Good job by Irizarry to track that over in left field, and judging by the shadows of everything, I'm sure he had to, fight off the sun in his vision to make that catch, but nonetheless, good job.
River Rats and Diamond Dogs already started. They're already in the 7th inning. That's a 6:30 start, I believe.
Yeah.
6:30 start in Winter Park. That game's 4-2. Sanford leads, looking to extend their win streak.
And judging by the numbers so far from Winter Park, good on them for keeping it close with the #1 team.
Yeah, they've tried to help everyone out by getting a win and breaking up that win streak, but to no avail. Snappers ahead 1-0 over the Suns. That game's in the top of the third. Leesburg, Winter Garden, the last ones to start. And Walker ahead 0-2 once again. So good job from the righty getting ahead in counts. Got a strikeout to Banez and then got a 2-2 flyout to Marlowe.
Yeah, Walker has forced at least 2 strikes to the first 3 batters so far.
No balls, 2 strikes. Walker ready. The pitch in the dirt.
Ooh,
good
that
take
was
from
very
Duncan.
Close. Very, very close there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The flag's at rest in center field. No wind, no breeze. 1-2 from Walker. Just gets a piece of it.
And it's good that you mentioned that because that means that, at least for right now, while the wind has settled, any balls we see hit deep into the outfield, it's legit. There's no wind helping it, wind being against it. But I remember on that 3-run homer day that we saw from Drew Pines, the wind was blowing super hard towards the left field side. So any ball that got out there was carried.
Chopper going to be a tough play. Jenkins charging barehanded, and he will have to put into his back pocket. Infield single from Andrew Duncan spoils the 1-2-3 inning, and it will bring up the aforementioned Drew Pines.
Yeah, it has to be a base hit there. I mean, that was just such a slow roller, and I'm sure that while the last remaining moisture in the infield grass is getting cleared up, they might have to really work hard to turn any 6-3s, 5-3s. But yeah, we have back-to-back Fcsl Player of the Week, Drew Pines, stepping up. He is the team's leading batter at a .378 average, 14 hits, 3 of those home runs, 2 of those doubles, 10 runs scored, 14 RBIs this summer.
He pops the first one up into foul ground. Coming over is Keller, and no one's going to get to it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think anybody wants to get wet either.
Yeah, a tough play. I think even if there's no rain previous to this game, that I don't think anyone's getting over there.
Yeah.
A lot of foul ground, and that one just a hair shy of actually getting over the wall and being out of play completely.
But yeah, Pines is out of St. Petersburg College, and taking a look at the numbers that won him Week 3 Player of the Week. Batted, I believe, .333. Had obviously those 3 home runs against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs in that doubleheader over at Sanford Memorial Stadium. 10 RBIs, 16 total bases.
Has an 0-1 count. Fouls that one away against Tanner Walker. That's a water ball now as it heads into the puddle. A lot of puddles on the sides, and luckily Michael T. and all the coaches did a good job of getting all the puddles out on the infield.
Yeah, they are really going to have to dry off any foul balls that find foul territory.
0-2 runner goes, swung on and missed. It won't matter. Gloved by Bolin, and Walker gets a second strikeout to end the top of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Squeeze. The Lightning coming up when we come back. Bottom of the first inning, the Squeeze put up a 0 spot in the top half of the first after a 2-out single from Andrew Duncan. Drew Pines was retired with another strikeout from Tanner Walker. He finished the inning with 2. Eli Thurman will lead us off against Andrew Fury, one of the best pitchers in the Florida League.
Yeah, he got nominated for Fcsl Pitcher of the Week for week number 3 after, in his sole start of the last 7 days, had a 0 ERA when he went 6 full innings against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs. 9 strikeouts, only gave up 2 hits. So Andrew Fury has been very consistent thus far this summer in general. We'll get his total pitching stats after this next throw.
Just misses off the plate to Eli Thurman.
Yeah, Fury is the leading pitcher for the Squeeze. As I said, a 1.2 ERA in his 4 total appearances, 3 of those starts.
Opposite field, base hit for Eli Thurman. Welcome back. A leadoff single for the Lightning, and it'll be Julian Irizarry, almost like a second leadoff batter for Coach Billings. Thurman, I'll mention again, missed the last 3 games, including the doubleheader. Nothing wrong with him, just a couple extra days rest, and good to have him back in the lineup. It's been a little bit colder as of late. Strikeouts have been a bit of an issue. Has 12 so far. That leads the team along with Charlie Keller, who also has 12. First pitch to Irizarry misses low and away. So Irizarry been the main leadoff batter for the Lightning. Jenkins has also played that role and played it in Saturday's game, but it was mainly Irizarry for the doubleheader. Called strike to Julian Irizarry, the left fielder. Whenever Thurman is in, he's usually the one playing center, and they'll move Irizarry over to left, but they have swapped places a couple of times, and we've seen Thurman play other positions besides center, usually left. Keller has been the mainstay in right. Check back to first. That one gets away. Thurman going to race to second base. There won't be a throw. And a miscue by the Squeeze early on, and that puts a Lightning runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate sequence of events. I mean, we saw Thurman almost get picked off, but he read the wild throw right and advanced himself into scoring position.
So that'll be an E1 on the throw. We saw an E1 in Saturday's game. 1-1, popped up, foul ground, long run for Calzadilla, and he will not get there. That ball will find the seats. Looking at Lightning players specifically and where they play, Irizarry has played center in 10 games. Thurman has played center in 8. Thurman has played 5 times in left. So I should have said Irizarry, when he plays in center, it's usually him to get the nod over Eli Thurman when they're both in the lineup. Irizarry has played 3 games in left. 1-2, popped up center field. Coming in is Incinelli goes out and makes the grab. Lost the ball there for a second, but the shortstop, Incinelli, makes the grab. Hit a lot softer than I anticipated.
Yeah, that was about to be another one of those bloopers, but good on Incinelli for once again tracking another one in the sun. Had to kind of backpedal into the shallow outfield grass. But wrapping up Fury's bio so far this summer, pitched 15 total innings, allowed 10 hits, 5 runs, 2 of those earned, 17 strikeouts.
The Red Hat Cole Bullen grounds this towards first. Staffer will flip it to Fury for a quick out number 2, and that will move Eli Thurman to third base, but 2 are down for James Strom, who rejoins the team. Was feeling under the weather the last couple days, missed the doubleheader, missed the game on Saturday, but he is back tonight, and he played every single game since he joined the team at first base, so well-deserved couple of days off.
Yeah, good on the coaches for always prioritizing player health.
First pitch he sees, fouls it the other way.
And I'm going to take a look here at Fury's past appearances, because this is actually going to be his second appearance against the Lightning. First time around, he pitched 5 full innings against Leesburg while only allowing 3 runs. One of those earned, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts. So not too bad, but obviously you want to bring those numbers up.
0-1 misses away to James Strom. 1-1 count. Strom so far on the season hitting .229, 8 for 35 after his red-hot first week when he came to the team has cooled off. Love to see that bat start to heat up as we get closer and closer to 3/4 of the way done with the season, as we're already past the halfway point.
Yeah, in about, so 9 games from now, we would be 3/4 of the way. I guess 8 after tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Fury, the righty, comes set at the letters. Now delivers. Just misses. Good take by Strom. Deuces wild on a beautiful evening in Leesburg, Florida. But it's always a beautiful evening here.
Yeah.
The righty delivers again and in the dirt. Good job by Strom to run the count full. 3-2 with Charlie Keller awaiting on deck. He would love a chance to hit with 2 on.
Yeah, Fury really trying to see if he can get Strom to chase, but this next pitch is going to be super crucial.
3-2. Ground ball out to second. Jordan Marlowe has it no problem, and he takes care of the Lightning in the bottom of the first. So Leesburg strands a runner at third base after the leadoff single from Eli Thurman. That'll send us to the second inning. No score at Pat Thomas. Top 2 here in Leesburg. Tanner Walker back out there after a good first inning. He will face 5, 6, and 7 due up for the squeeze. Stafford, Walker, and Incinelli.
Yeah, so it looks like Sean Stafford will lead off this second inning for the Winter Garden Squeeze. Stafford obviously had the very first home run of the season for the Squeeze over at Melching Field, but we'll look at his numbers after this pitch. As Stafford is batting .308 so far, 12 hits, which puts him tied for second on the team. 11 runs scored, a double, obviously that home run, a couple of RBIs, 9 walks.
Oh, 1 check swing, yes he did. And just got notified that, Ricky, no Florida League team with a 10-plus winning streak has ever won the championship.
That's just sports for you, if I'm being honest, man. I mean, we saw, what was it, a couple of years ago, it's a completely different sport, but the Bruins, the greatest regular season of all time, only to get 3-1 comeback against the Panthers in the first round. That's just sports for you, man.
You're exactly right, and you were right to say that they should be the favorites to win the championship. They still are.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, that stat doesn't really come into play.
But, I mean, good for you for saying it right now
I know.
before we have to clamor to say it later on.
1-2's fouled back by Sean Stafford, the first baseman.
Wow, no team. Wow.
And the Rats in the top of the 8th inning still clinging to that 4-2 lead against the Diamond Dogs.
They are flowing by fast.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that game started at 6 instead of 6:30.
It had to have. The 8 innings in what would have been an hour and 25 minutes, that doesn't sound normal.
Yeah, I agree with you. 1-2 upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tanner Walker got ahead, but Stafford's done a good job spoiling some pitches and taking other ones. I know Diamond Dogs usually started at 6:30. Maybe they moved up 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So all the games spread out a little bit here. Bottom of the 3rd against the Suns, with the Suns and the Snappers. 1-2, nasty breaking ball. Tanner Walker, frozen pizza to Sean Stafford. 1 down.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pitch there by Tanner Walker. We saw it, break from about shoulder height down to just above, looked like Stafford's groin area in his strike zone. But once again, that's 5 straight batters that have seen a 2-strike count against Walker.
Zach Walker, the batter, the right fielder. Getting a look at that breaking ball. It looked like almost like a 12-6. Clayton Kershaw-esque. Started up in the zone and finished as a strike just up in the zone. And you don't see that a lot. Usually breaking balls that have more vertical break will break towards the bottom of the zone. 1-0, just a bit outside from Tanner Walker. 1 hit for both sides. Duncan, last inning for the Squeeze, had an infield single. Eli Thurman found the outfield grass with an opposite field base knock. 2-0 from Walker, called strike.
That one barely nicking the outer portion of Zacharias Walker's zone there.
Went 0 for 4 on Saturday, so really quiet night for him. 2 strikeouts. Facing a 2-1 count. The pitch, ground ball the opposite way. Ryan Jenkins fields, throws, and gets Zach Walker for the 2nd out. Normally used to seeing Reed Snyder over there at third base. Been feeling a little sore with his arm. So he's getting the full day off today, not hitting as well. I think that's a good move. He's played a lot of third base, and it's not a short throw by any means. So Jenkins getting another start out there. He played on Saturday, and then in the second game of the doubleheader, he also was playing at third base. The first game, as this one's popped up foul, the first game in the doubleheader, Reed Snyder started at third and then quickly was removed.
Yeah, I remember that because they had to bring in Charlie Keller.
Right, so Keller came from right field, replaced him at third after the first inning, but Snyder still hit. A 1 low and inside to the batter, Isaac Incinelli.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, obviously, like you said, it's a very long throw, and so it looks like it's almost 130 feet, like across the diamond between third and first, so it is a long throw.
1-1, bloop fly to left field. Here's Ari coming in. He lays out.
Wow.
Oh, and almost makes the grab. Put some leather on it, but just unable to bring it in. That's almost an impossible grab, but a great effort. A well-deserved base hit for Incinelli, and just like last inning, the Squeeze get a 2-out base hit.
Yeah, he did everything he possibly could to try to make that catch. We saw his cap fly off. Hopefully it didn't get too wet out there. But, yeah, I mean, we saw him lay out for it, and that's why you always got to make sure that you run to the bases because you never know what can happen. So Incinelli is now safely on with 2 outs.
So that will bring up Derek Lopez.
Walker eclipsed 30 pitches now. That's 31.
That's what I got. And on Saturday, Derek Lopez 1 for 3, scored a run, struck out. And going back to what you were saying about third and first, so about 130 feet. So they're probably not, he's not all the way at the bag. So, yeah, 120, 115 feet at least for every throw. That's not short at all by any means. 1-0 misses up and away. So good to give Snyder a full day off. Doesn't have to worry about hitting either. And not even sure if he's here. Sometimes especially pitchers, when they're
Right.
not pitching, they won't travel with the team because everyone has to travel separately,
Yeah.
which is a smart move. If everyone took a bus, then why not? Everyone goes to every game to support the team. But if you're driving yourself, save some gas money if
sure.
you know you're not playing. 2-0, low and away from Tanner Walker, and all of a sudden getting behind to Derek Lopez after getting ahead to almost every single batter.
Yeah, Lopez doing a great job of getting himself way ahead in the counter. He can basically watch these next couple of pitches go by if he wanted to.
3-0, called strike.
So if it's, we'll round it, say 130. So that's, I mean, what, 40 yards?
Yeah.
Insane.
You're probably better at math than I am. That sounds right, though.
Yeah, I mean, because
3-1, straight up the chimney chute in the infield. James Strom calling for it, and he will make the grab for out number 3. Tanner Walker, just like in the first inning, works around the 2-out base hit and sends us to the bottom half of the second inning. Still scoreless here in Leesburg. Ricky Potts, Vic Maslia here at Pat Thomas Stadium. Buddy Low Field as the sun starts to set. Charlie Keller is the leadoff batter. 5, 6, and 7 due up. Thurman got a leadoff base hit last inning. The Lightning were sat down 1-2-3 after that. Keller now the leader in batting average for the Lightning. .315 he's hitting so far this season. 17 hits and 54 at-bats, 12 runs scored. He's got 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. 1-0 pitch to him, misses low. Fury still out there.
yeah, we'll see how Andrew progresses throughout the rest of his 5th appearance of the summer.
2-0 cut on and missed. Keller, Lightning Player of the Week in this second week. Cole Bolin, Player of the Week in this past third week. So weird, we're already 3 weeks through.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just doesn't feel like that. But time flies when you're having fun. 2-1, grounded foul.
Yeah, so next week it'll be, or I guess this week now, so week 4, and then we got 4 more, and then, yeah, that's it.
Fury working out of the stretch. He comes set 2-2 off the plate. Not really sure why Derek Lopez wanted to tag Charlie Keller.
Just had to, it's insurance purposes.
No, I get it now. No, but Charlie Keller nowhere close to swinging. Count runs full. On deck is Ryan Jenkins.
Coming up on the 20th pitch.
And it's hit into left field pretty deep. Banez going back to the wall and makes a nice grab
Wow.
at the warning track to rob Charlie Keller of an extra base hit.
Wow, what a catch. You know Andrew Fury is going to give himself a little salute out into the outfield. I mean, it was obviously, we've seen more difficult catches that players have had to make here in the Florida League, but that was not easy by any means. He had to trek about 15 yards, it seemed like, to his left to make that catch at the warning track, but good on Banez.
So good grab by Banez, able to play center and left with no problem. And Ryan Jenkins, the batter. Wonder if Jenkins finds it not odd, but finds it tough to go from the leadoff spot to the middle of the order. Batted leadoff in Saturday's game and now in the 6th hole tonight. He's batted all around the order. Seen him bat in the middle parts. Seen him lead it off before. Bat 1 through 3. So he can do it all. Just wonder how that affects their mental game a little bit. Of course, their approach at the plate's a little bit different. It's a leadoff batter trying to get yourself on base. But towards the middle of the order, thinking more so with runners on and maybe more about power.
Right.
Than just getting on base, providing contact.
And then we talked about earlier in the season how, typically some people might associate the bottom order with the not so consistent batters. But here in the Florida League, I mean, we've seen coaches put some of their middle of the pack batters towards the end. So that way, in case they need a guy to get on base and you bring up the top of the order, you do that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Went for a pitch off the zone, out of the zone, and Fury did a good job at fooling Ryan Jenkins. Makes it 2 down. That's the first strikeout for Fury tonight.
Yeah, that was a good pitch by Fury. Obviously, Jenkins getting a little bit fooled there, and that's 2 up, 2 down here in the 2nd for Leesburg. And just like that, Fury has retired the last 5 batters in order ever since giving up that opening hit to Eli Thurman.
Marco Moises, the batter, the extra hitter, takes that one inside. Moises also a guy that's bounced around in the order, has bat in the 7 hole and the middle of the order, as well as to batting towards the top, maybe 4 or 3 spot a couple times. But it's been interesting, even when he was at his hottest point, it's the 1-0's fouled away, they still were batting him towards the middle and even towards the middle end of the order, which I thought was really interesting because of his productivity. But if he's hitting well there, then why move him out of the spot? So I think that's why Coach Billings likes to hit him around 6 or 7, but he's hit 4 or 5 before. 1-1 is hammered into right field. Coming over is Walker, and it'll fall in foul ground. It was a long run, and Walker was shaded way closer towards center field. No chance for him to grab that.
Yeah, he really tried to chase that one. He gave a full sprint for it. But, yeah, you talked about it. Sometimes guys really find their niche, their comfortability in certain fielding positions, certain spots in the batting order, and we saw more so towards the earlier parts of the season, coaches would kind of shift guys around and, try to experiment and figure out what works. And now I feel like we're really going to see, not as many changes to the field or the batting orders from all 6 teams.
Yeah, I think as we get into the later parts of the year, coaches will figure out what pieces they want to put where and when to use who and when not to use who.
Right. And so it seems like for Leesburg, after this pitch.
Deuce's wild pitch. Hit to left field. Banez, another chance for him, comes in and makes the grab to retire the Lightning. Fury gets a 1-2-3 inning. Couple pop-ups to Banez in left, and then a strikeout to Jenkins, which will send us to the 3rd inning. Still no score. Into the third inning we go. Lightning were set down 1-2-3 against Andrew Fury, who looks pretty sharp, but Tanner Walker also looks sharp as well. And we will see him here in the top of the third inning face 9, 10, and 1 due up for the squeeze.
Yeah, so this will bring up Jack Waddingham, the extra hitter.
After him, it'll be Javier Calzadilla, the third baseman, called strike. Walker's been doing a good job of getting ahead of batters and inducing weak contact, has 3 strikeouts as well.
So Walker had 35 pitches through the first 2 innings.
And he had 2 strikeouts coming into this game in his 6 innings pitched, and we're already seeing more of a strikeout pitcher in him that he's showcasing than we have before.
Right. Taking a look at Waddingham's numbers so far this summer. Bounce that one off. He only has 1 hit recorded in his 6 games played. He was one of the late arrivals for head coach Mike McDaniel. Scored a run and has a walk. Was hit by a pitch twice. So obviously he's still kind of getting his feet wet here for the squeeze.
0-2 in the dirt. Good take by Waddingham. Waddingham pinch hit for Jordan Marlowe back on Saturday. Went 0 for 1. He struck out in his lone at-bat.
Coming up on number 40.
One, 2. Popped up, foul ground on the left side. Irizarry racing over there. Ryan Jenkins as well. And that ball is going to get wet as it lands just a bit shy of the gate, the bullpen gate.
Another one finds the puddles.
No chance at anyone getting that. And it's funny, you do a really good job of keeping up with the pitch count. And it's interesting because I don't. For the sole reason is Coach Billings used so many pitchers.
Right.
The pitch count never really matters for the Lightning.
Right.
Of course, it probably matters a lot more for the squeeze, but it's never really been about pitch count as of just yet. As we go further into the season and guys pitch longer and longer, then it probably will.
Yeah, and thankfully we have our wonderful Point Streaks website to help us keep up with that. But you mentioned it. I mean, for you guys, it's like 4, 5 batters per game? I mean, pitchers per game, maybe?
Yeah,
so
more like 5 or 6 per game.
Right, so obviously the pitch counts don't really come into play that much.
Right. And they probably will towards the end of the year, but Coach Billings has always prided himself on if he's going to have a lot of pitchers, he's going to use all of them, and if that means pitching each guy an inning or 2, so be it. So pitch counts really only will matter to starting pitchers.
Oh, yeah. Well, and obviously when you use as many arms as Coach Billings does, it keeps the strain off.
Ground ball softly hit to James Strom. He'll take it himself and records the first out.
So Waddingham grounds out to the first baseman there for the first out. And, yeah, I mean, we mentioned it. Like, when you use that many pitchers, there's not as much strain on the guys. They can get more reps in, more games played.
Batter now is Javier Calzadilla. First pitch popped up, shallow left field. TJ Sokros, the shortstop, is actually going to come in and take that pop fly in the dirt as it spun a little bit back. 2 outs. Long at bat to Jack Waddingham, and then a short at bat to Calzadilla.
Yeah, I mean, he got Calzadilla on the first pitch that he saw compared to Waddingham, who faced, I believe,
6 or 7. It looks like.
Yeah, 6 or 7. But the fans here, they're pointing at something on the left side. I'm not sure what they're trying to point out to the coaches and umpires, maybe.
Not sure either. Nico Banez will bat, top of the order due up now. Hopefully it'll just be Banez.
Because that irrigation system over on the left side does not affect the field. So, not too sure.
.1-0 pitch. Hit softly to left field again. Irizarry racing in. He'll make the grab for out number 3. Wow, a lot of fly balls to Irizarry and just the left side of the field in general. But Tanner Walker collects his first 1-2-3 inning and sends us to the bottom half of the 3rd. Still no score, but let's try to change that. Bottom 3 coming up. TJ Sokros leads the Lightning off in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Had a 3-run home run in that second game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, he did have that. That was the second home run hit this summer over at Horizon Park, and oddly enough, all of them by the Lightning.
Yeah, Juan Orozco provided the first home run, the first game at Horizon Ballpark for the Lightning. And interesting that TJ Sokros was not in the lineup on Saturday after that really good game. He was the final pitcher for the Lightning, so maybe that's the reason why. Did get the save. That's his second save of the season. Pitched an inning, worked around a walk, and struck out the side, actually. 1-1. Ground ball foul.
Yeah, we have a few two-way players, I guess you could say, on this Lightning team and just around the league in general. Sokras batting, looks like just 150, but then again, he is that two-way player, so.
Line drive, base hit up the middle. Sokras right on cue, provides another hit for the Lightning. And you mentioned it, has started the season a little bit cold. 3 hits and 20 at-bats coming into this game, so now 4 for 21. Has 4 runs scored, a double, 6 RBIs, and 4 walks. So despite the lower average, has still been producing a little bit and also produces on the mound. And is one of the hardest throwers for the Lightning, topping out at 94.
Wow.
That one gets away from the catcher, Derek Lopez, and moving up 90 feet is TJ Sokras. The batter, is Ledger Pleasant. No, it's Nick Wroblewski.
Yep.
Nick Wroblewski's the batter.
Yeah, he's getting a day off from catching, and he is batting 200. All but 3 Lightning batters are batting at least 200, so solid consistency all the way around.
Trey Kraft, another one of those batters under the Mendoza line, but he has produced in many other ways. Tell everyone a little bit about that after this 1-0. Misses downstairs. Trey Kraft leads the team in walks with 14. And remember,
Wow.
he's a catcher, so he doesn't get to play every game. 14 walks, 12 runs scored. So he has done more than you could ask for without having a good average. 2-0 to Wroblewski, misses again, quickly 3-0.
Yeah, Lopez really trying to sell that one there, but Fury's got to fight back in the count here. There's no outs and a runner in scoring position.
3-0 offering, called strike. Grant Jordan, another one of the slower bats. He was a late addition, so only 18 at-bats for him and just the 2 hits. But other than that, and other than TJ Sokras, who now is getting that average back up, it's been very good for the Lightning order and just all the Lightning bats in general. As Wroblewski reaches on a 5-pitch walk from Fury, and all of a sudden the Lightning have something brewing. 2 on, nobody out for Ledger Pleasant.
Next up, the second baseman, number 12, Ledger Pleasant.
There's still no outs here. The Lightning batters in this 3rd inning not only showing discipline, but it looks like, so head coach Mike McDaniel will come out for his first mound visit. Obviously not too much of a worry just yet, but just wanting to calm down Andrew and make sure everything's all good, reassure him there's no bullpen activity just yet. But this is the most shaken that Fury has looked since, I guess, that first outing he had against Leesburg. He's been very consistent outside of that this summer.
Gave up 3 runs in that game against the Lightning, and now with Ledger Pleasant up, after him it's the top of the order. And Ledger Pleasant has been a really, really good bat for the Lightning and has been a mainstay in the bottom of the order, often batting 10, maybe 9 or 8, but usually that second leadoff guy right before the actual leadoff guy, Eli Thurman. And with Irizarry batting second, it's kind of like you've got 3 leadoff batters once you get towards the bottom of the order. Pleasant, a second baseman, is speedy. Not as speedy as Thurman and Irizarry, but also mainly a contact hitter. Does have 2 doubles, but 11 hits for him and 297 average. Scored 7 runs, driven in 10. So a little bit of a mix. Smaller, speedy guy, but also has some power for some extra base hits, and we'll see what he's got in store against Andrew Fury. It was a pass ball that got Sokras to second. Obviously doesn't really matter much now that Wroblewski's reached. Expecting a bunt from Pleasant. He lays one down. Fury is going to field it. He has 1 play. It's to first. He makes it, and a really good sac bunt by Ledger Pleasant that moves both runners over.
Obviously doing the predictable thing there, just advancing both runners, and now Wroblewski is in scoring position, so Fury in a bit of a bind here, but we'll see if he can get these next 2 out.
We've seen a lot of Lightning bats lay down some good bunts to move guys over. Haven't really seen any big glaring mess-ups from bunts, as Eli Thurman ropes this one foul down the 3rd base line.
The crowd wanted that one fair.
But it seems like all the bunts have at least done their job. I think maybe one of them has resulted in the lead runner getting out. Could be mistaking that for another game too, but it seems like every bunt that's been laid down for the Lightning has really worked out, and some of them have ended up in the the bunter getting on base. Infield is in for Eli Thurman. 1 down, 2 runners in scoring position. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Been a pitcher's duel so far, so of course the infield wants to protect that precious first run from scoring. TJ Sokras has good wheels. Wroblewski, the catcher at second, has got pretty good speed for a catcher. 0-2 just a bit off the plate. A really good take by Thurman.
Fury obviously not trying to give anything easy to the leadoff man, Thurman, especially in this situation he's found himself in.
1-2 offering. Popped up. It's into left center field. Banez coming in. He staggers his rep, and it's Duncan who drops the ball. Sokras will come around and score. Wroblewski had a hold up at second base. He didn't know if that ball would drop, and when it did, it was in shallow left center, and there was no chance for him to get to third base. So a mishap by Banez and Duncan. Both were converging. Banez did some zigzags as he tried to grab it. And then Duncan was the last hope, and it was just off of his glove.
Banez was racing for his life to try and catch that one. That was a bit of a blooper of sorts, but you mentioned it. Duncan tried to extend his arm all the way down and keep that from hitting the ground, but unfortunately for the squeeze, run scores and Thurman is on safely.
And that will be a single. I said that he got leather on it, but I'm not 100% sure if Duncan did. Regardless, it was a really tough play for him. 0-1 bounces way away from Derek Lopez. Wroblewski and Thurman move up 90 feet. It's the same situation, 2 in scoring position with 1 down. But going back to that last play, Banez at first looked like he had a beat on it, but the ball kept drifting inwards. And Duncan at the last moment tried to make a last effort, and he was unable to. And with the ball being hit so shallow, it will be rewarded as a base hit and an RBI for Eli Thurman. I think that's the right call because it looked like a tricky play towards the end of it, though it looked fairly easy, not fairly easy. Base hit up the middle for Julian Irizarry. Here comes Thurman, the play at the plate, it won't happen. The squeeze cut it off, a 2 RBI single for Irizarry, extends it to a 3-0 lead.
Good job there by Irizarry to get himself on base and showcase why he's in the top of the batting order. He gets the 2 RBI single, and this is easily the most uncomfortable Andrew Fury has looked since, as we already talked about, the last time he faced the Lightning. First time he's given up any runs since June 13th against the River Rats. So we'll see if he can, I guess, kind of bounce back here and prevent any further damage. But at the same time, he also needs to squeeze batters to come alive.
Runner goes. The pitch is in the dirt. Lopez was unable to grab it. Irizarry will have a stolen bag, no problem.
Good jump there by Irizarry as Cole Bullen takes ball number 1 there. But yeah, I mean, we're going to need, if you're the squeeze, Fury not only has to prevent any further damage, but the bats have got to come alive.
1-0 to Cole Bullen. Oh, great stop by Marlowe at second. Gets to his feet and makes the play at first. A 1-hopper. Marlowe handled it well. Irizarry does advance towards third, but a good 4-3 putout.
Yeah, that's the second grounder that Marlowe has had to field, and he's had to get really active across these 2 games here at Pat Thomas Stadium.
James Strom, the batter, grounded out to Jordan Marlowe in his first at-bat. Now a chance to plate another run for the Lightning, but there are 2 down. First one in the dirt by Fury. Already given up now the same amount he gave up to the Lightning in his first appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, still no one out in the bullpen just quite yet.
1-0's upstairs to James Strom, the first baseman. It was Orozco playing a really good first base the past couple of games when James Strom was out.
Yeah, we saw actually twice in this 4-game series, Orozco had that unassisted double play situation.
Great grab by him and good awareness to tag the bag. Strom lifts this into left field. Another chance for Nico Banez racing in and just by the third baseline makes the grab and ends this bottom half of the 3rd inning. But the Lightning put up 3 runs off of 3 base hits and will send us to the 4th inning with a 3-0 lead for Leesburg. Top of the 4th inning. Squeeze lead it off with Jordan Marlowe, and now with some play-by-play for the middle 3. Here's Ricky Potts.
Thanks so much, Vic. It looks like the recent high school graduate, Jordan Marlowe, will lead off the 4th inning for his 2nd plate appearance of the evening against the Leesburg Lightning, as the Squeeze now trail by 3 after a couple of RBI base hits. Advanced runners across home plate. Marlowe fouls the first pitch he sees off. Tanner Walker still in the game for Leesburg. So far this outing, he's pitched 3 full innings while only giving up 2 hits and has 3 strikeouts. So Walker very solid tonight. As Marlowe grounds that one up the middle for a base hit. The second baseman hit a bit of a slow blooper that actually bounced, I believe, off the mound and over the head of Tanner Walker. Goes up the middle, but nonetheless a single for Marlowe. And interestingly enough, that will be his first hit in 6 games. So good for him to break that hitless streak and get himself on base with his bat, as the center fielder Andrew Duncan is due up now.
Yeah, and that was the first leadoff batter for the Squeeze. Something that Tanner Walker struggled with coming into this game was getting the leadoff guys out.
Duncan fouls that one off. So back-to-back at-bats with fouled off first pitches.
Batters were 5 for 8 against Walker with the bases empty. .625 average. With the runners on, batters just 4 for 18.
Coming up on number 50, which is low for ball number 1.
Yeah, and looks like this probably would be the last inning for Tanner Walker. There is a reliever in the bullpen, a lefty warming up. It's Riley Fitzgerald, who's out in the bullpen. So we might see him next inning unless Tanner Walker can somehow breeze through the top 4.
Called strike 2 there, and Fitzgerald is another two-way player that Leesburg is so fortunate to have on the roster this year. 1-2 count for the center fielder. Marlowe sits at first, very hesitant with his lead. And the pitch swung on and missed. That one was a little high, but it makes it past the bat of Andrew Duncan. Good body of work there for Tanner Walker.
Yeah, went upstairs with a fastball, really just trying to get a chase, and that's exactly what he got from Duncan. Could not lay off the high cheese.
So that'll bring up the extra hitter and back-to-back league player of the week in Drew Pines, one of 3 catchers for head coach Mike McDaniel this summer. He watches the first pitch find the inside of the zone for a called strike 1.
And also the Squeeze have a reliever in the bullpen warming up, so not sure if Fury's night is done.
Yeah, they got a couple of guys out there just in case Andrew does not successfully make it through the 4th inning, but I would hope to be right in assuming that the 4th would be his last, as that one rolls up the first baseline fair. Pines moves to first. It looks like the second baseman Pleasant slipped out there in foul territory, but nonetheless, Pines will be at first. Marlowe moves to second with only 1 out here.
Yeah, it's going to be an error on James Strom at first. Was a backhanded play, and he had a pretty good beat on it. Seemed like he was a little bit too focused on starting to turn the double play and didn't really look it in his glove right. And Thurman raced a long way to get over there, and Marlowe never really picked up his third base coach, who I'm assuming was saying come to him at third, because Thurman had to run a long way, and Marlowe tried to decide and started going to third and then stopped once he saw Eli Thurman getting close to the ball, but that was before Thurman slipped. So Marlowe, a couple opportunities to snag an extra base, and the Lightning, thankful he didn't.
And that one is yanked. It's going to find the gap in right center field. Almost roll back to the warning track. Sean Stafford gets himself an RBI double, and the Squeeze now trail by 2. What a hit from Sean Stafford.
Yeah, that ball was hammered and destined for the gap all the way. and placed it perfectly. Nothing much Eli Thurman could do in center field, and Lightning lucky to limit it to just the 1 run.
Sean Stafford swings at the first pitch he sees and belts it into the 8-9 gap, and the Squeeze are now down 3-1, once down 3-0, and just like that, the meat of the order is heating up. Pines gets on base safely, Stafford gets the double, and now one of the best hitters on this Winter Garden team, Zacharias Walker, will be due up after this mound visit.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pitching change. Coach Billings seen enough of Tanner Walker, but a much better job in this outing tonight. Although he gives up the 1 run, still did really good through the first 3 frames and able to limit the damage and work around some 2-out base hits. That's very important for him, and I think that it's more important for Coach Billings to see him in on a good note instead of giving up any damage.
Well, whenever Riley Fitzgerald is done warming up, we'll have his information for the summer as well as Tanner Walker's final stats. Riley Fitzgerald getting close to wrapping up his warm-up as he's getting ready to make another pitching appearance this summer in relief for Tanner Walker.
Yeah, Fitzgerald so far, not the most success on the mound, a 7.15 ERA, is 0-1. 6 appearances, 2 of them have been starts, so this might be just a touch-up inning, or short, maybe just 2/3 of an inning pitched, and just get ready for his next start. But maybe this is a long relief opportunity for him. Not really sure just yet, but we will find out. 11 1/3 innings pitched, 15 hits given up, 9 earned runs, though 3 more have come across while he's been pitching. 9 walks and just the 5 strikeouts. So not the biggest strikeout pitcher, but does produce a lot of contact, some weak and some obviously hard hit, with the 9 earned runs given up and just the 7 1/3 of an inning, or excuse me, with the 7.15 ERA, 11 1/3 innings pitched. And it looks like Coach Billings just playing matchup here, back-to-back lefties and Walker and Incinelli, and Fitzgerald just needs to get 2 outs.
Smart strategy by head coach Billings. Count will start at 0-1 after Zacharias Walker fouls off the first pitch he sees. He grounded out to third his first time up. He was the second out of the second inning. And taking a look at Tanner Walker's final stats, as that one is fouled off again. 0-2 count here for the right fielder, but Tanner Walker's final stats for the night: 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. Another one fouled off.
And in all of Fitzgerald's appearances where he did not start, that's 4. He has not gone more than an inning. Coach Billings likes to sometimes give his starters a touch-up inning or maybe an out or 2 before their next start to get them warmed up. So that might be the case here.
And Walker lines that one right into the glove of TJ Sokaras, and they turn the double play. Walker hits a liner right into Sokaras, and he throws it over to Ledger Pleasant because Sean Stafford was so far off the bag, he could not make it back in time. So the Lightning turn a wild double play and keep any more runs from scoring as they still trail, or they're still up by 2 after the top of the 4th here at Pat Thomas Stadium. We're through 3.5 here at Buddy Love Field at Pat Thomas Stadium in beautiful Leesburg, Florida with Vic Masley. I'm Ricky Potts. Vic, talk about a wild double play turn to end the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Coach Billings putting Fitzgerald in to get the last 2 left-handers out and get out of the inning unscathed, and Fitzgerald just had to face one of them. Walker hit a line drive out to short. Sokaros, great glove by him, and got a little confused about where exactly second base is, just because there's a...
Keller flies this one up high into shallow left field territory. Nico Banez makes the catch. Nico Banez has been getting a lot of work tonight. By my count, he has at least 3 fly balls. And he
Four.
Four. Wow, so, okay, 4 tonight, so 1 per inning essentially, but Nico getting a lot of fielding highlights tonight as he gets out Keller, and that brings up the third baseman, Jenkins.
And I was saying, I was just a little confused because with the new dirt they put over the field to soak up the water, it's wider than the original dirt. So just a little confused about where second base was, and I thought that Pleasant, the second baseman, wasn't going to get to the bag in time, but he did. And drifting too far off of second base was Sean Stafford. And I thought he was going to be able to get back in time, but Ledger Pleasant beat him to the bag.
Just a wild turn of events. Third time we've seen something similar to that happen as Jenkins hits a blooper out into right, and it's caught by Zacharias Walker. What a diving grab made by the right fielder to prevent the single or error from scoring, and he gets out Jenkins. 2 straight tough catches made by the Squeeze defense.
Yeah, that was a really good grab by Walker. I don't think a lot of players would be able to grab that but him. Very speedy out there and able to track it down.
And if you're Andrew Fury, you've got to be loving this defense in the 4th inning. Obviously gave up those 3 earned runs in the 3rd. 1-0 count early here for the extra hitter, Marco Moises, getting a break from the field. Grounded to second. Morrow does not make the stop. It'll be a base hit for one of the best Lightning batters in Moises.
Yeah, great job by Marco. Had a 3-hit night on Saturday. Went 3 for 4. Didn't plate any runs or score any runs himself, but helped prolong innings and just did a great job of getting himself on the base pass, and could have been a lot more runs to have come in rather than just the 5 that scored if some of the guys after him were able to hit him in. And now it's TJ Sokros after a great double play turn.
So Andrew Fury fires that one just above the zone for Sokros, who actually kicked off the offensive burst from the Lightning when he got that single and scored. 1-0 count is a wild pitch. It's actually going to be a pass ball. Lopez tracks it to the backstop, but Moises advances. As I was saying, Sokoros hit the single and then scored, as did Wroblewski and Thurman. All three of those guys rounded the bases to put the Lightning up 3-0 before the Squeeze got one back in the top half of this inning. And with 2 outs, unless something happens here, no reason for head coach McDaniel to pull out Fury just yet. And it's a wild throw from the backstop by Lopez. He saw Moises with a big lead, thought maybe he could get him out at the bag, but it was a miscommunication, mistimed throw from Lopez.
Yeah, that's going to be an error. I mean, why? There's no one covering second base. Lopez was really just throwing to the bag, expecting one of the middle infielders to come grab it, which is already a mistake on its own. But the throw wasn't even a good one. It sailed over the head, and it was not leading the second baseman Marlowe to the bag at all. So it was high, 1, and 2. It didn't lead him to the bag, so there wasn't even a chance to get Moises at all. And those plays are so risky. The checkdowns to first are also risky, but the ones to second are even more so.
2-2 is going to be fouled off by Sokoros, and you mentioned it. I mean, I understand Moises was off of the bag, but at the same time,
there's no one there.
Yeah, you've got to take care of the baseball.
You're exactly right. I mean, the catcher is in charge of the entire field, is the only one to see all 8 players in front of him. And like you said, just got to protect that baseball.
So we've got 2s everywhere except on the bases. That one drops low for ball number 3. So the count has now run full. Fury trying to get himself out of this inning before Leesburg can get any more runs across the plate. And if he does that, assumingly so, this would be his final inning of work. As Sokoros belts one high, deep into left. Banez makes the catch at the foul line. 2 F7s recorded in this 3rd inning for Nico Banez. That's his 5th that he's had to grab in this game. The left fielder getting a lot of work, but the Squeeze defense get Andrew Fury out of a bind and do not allow any more runs on the board, but they still trail by 2 after 4. We are through 4 here at Pat Thomas Stadium as the Leesburg Lightning still up by 2 over the Winter Garden Squeeze. The last inning saw 2 F7s and a tough grab to make by the foul line in left field by Nico Banez to prevent any more runs from scoring, but we move to the 5th. Isaac Antonelli checks his swing there as that one is high above the zone for ball number 1 for the shortstop.
Oh, no, they called it. He said he went around. Is that not what the first baseman said?
Yeah, okay, yeah, so that will be actually a call.
Late appeal.
Strike 1. So they say he went around. Now Antonelli hits a high fly ball into right, and it is out of here. The shortstop gets a good one off of the lefty Fitzgerald. The right fielder, Charlie Keller, didn't even bother trying to track it back because it was gone. What a shot by Antonelli to make it a 1-run game.
That ball had a family. I mean, that ball's in the lake out there. I mean, it was absolutely crushed. I mean, the only thing stopping it from getting to the lake might be a tree or a car, but that had to have rolled back there. That was absolutely hammered. Maybe a little too high to get into the lake, but that thing was absolutely crushed.
And now this one's going to be a broken bat blooper up the middle, and good play by the second baseman, Ledger Pleasant. So Derek Lopez swings on the first pitch he sees, and the 4-3 is turned, but my goodness, what a home run ball to make it 3-2 now, still in favor of Leesburg.
Yeah, that thing was just absolutely hammered. No doubt about it. Wish I saw that on the replay.
Yeah, it was high out there.
And that's the 4th home run given up by Fitzgerald in his past 2 games. His last outing was the first game of the doubleheader against the Snappers. Gave up 3 home runs over the course of 2 innings. And now another long ball given up here.
So head coach Rich Billings brings in Fitzgerald in relief of Tanner Walker with the idea of him taking advantage of the lefty-lefty matchups that are found in this portion of the batting order for Winter Garden. But right there, Antonelli swings on the second pitch he sees from Fitzgerald.
Right.
And he puts it over all those advertisements in right field.
Yeah, and lefties hitting 3 for 12 off Fitzgerald coming into this game. So not the worst, still a 250 average. It's actually pretty good for lefties against lefty pitching.
And now that one fouled off by Waddingham. Still a 2-2 count here for the extra hitter.
And that last outing for Fitzgerald, the one where he gave up 3 home runs, that was his worst. 6 earned runs total given up by him on 6 hits and 3 2/3 of an inning pitched.
Another one fouled off. So by my count, that is the 6th home run for the Winter Garden Squeeze this summer. We had the one by Stafford and DeLand, 4 combined between Pines and Walker over at Sanford in the doubleheader against the Diamond Dogs, and now this one here from Antonelli.
Yeah, I got 6 too, and all of them have been at away ballparks.
Yeah,
That's so interesting with the dimensions at Horizon being so small.
Another one is yanked out into right, but Keller has this one in his glove. A hard hit liner out to the right side, but this time Charlie Keller actually gets to make a play for it.
Still another hard hit ball, and that's what Fitzgerald has struggled with. He's giving up extra base hits and just letting other teams hit him around pretty good, and has also at times struggled a little bit with command as well. And coming into this game, Fitzgerald's gave up nine walks in 11 1/3 innings pitched, so almost 1 per inning.
So after the 3-run inning from the Lightning in the 3rd, Calzadilla grounds this one to the left side. Jenkins makes the cross diamond throw in time. Put it about chest high for the first baseman Strom, and Fitzgerald, after giving up the home run, retires the next 3 in order. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th, but not before Isaac Antonelli hits a solo shot and makes it 3-2 here in Leesburg. we're halfway through game number 4 of this series between the Leesburg Lightning and the Winter Garden Squeeze, as Carter Daniel will come in to relief for Andrew Fury. But just to recap the last half inning of baseball here at Pat Thomas Stadium, Isaac Incinelli belted a solo home run over the right field wall to cut the deficit to just 1 here halfway through this ball game. But we'll take a look at Carter Daniel's numbers after this first pitch, which is way inside for Ledger Pleasant.
Nick Wroblewski, I think. Yeah.
My mistake. It's going to be Wroblewski. Breaking ball into the upper inside corner, but Carter Daniel has made 5 appearances this summer, 1 of those being a start, 13 total innings, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of those earned. Unfortunately, hits Wroblewski in the back there, so he'll take the 90-foot walk over to first. Unfortunate start for Winter Garden's reliever, but outside of that, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of those earned, 1 walk, 16 strikeouts. So Carter Daniel does have that strikeout potential. Just would like to bring the hits numbers down maybe, but nonetheless, now he's in a 1 runner on base situation with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th, as now it's going to be the second baseman, Ledger Pleasant, watches ball 1 go low.
I don't think we ever closed the line on Tanner Walker. Went 3 1/3, gave up 4 hits, the 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, no walks, so good night for him. And obviously Fury, 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, walk and a strikeout.
That one fouled back by Pleasant.
And there is another reliever warming up in the Lightning bullpen. It's Austin Petticourt, the righty. So after that big home run by Incinelli, Fitzgerald's day might be done, but did a really good job to get the next 3 batters out.
They do say that Ledger Pleasant went around for strike number 2.
Just couldn't hold back there.
And now this one is yanked. It's going to find the left center gap. Nico Banez with the catch. That one almost dropped into fair grass, but what a diving catch by the left fielder Banez. My goodness.
That was a great grab. Banez, it looked like he left both of his feet to
yes, he flew.
Make the grab, a Superman-like grab.
Absolutely insane highlight reel in the field tonight for Nico Banez. He's had to sprint for balls, flying to catch fly balls. Obviously had 1, I believe, easy grab, but outside of that, he has had to put in the work. You can almost guarantee head coach McDaniel will give him a fielding break in tomorrow's home game against the River Rats, but nonetheless, 1-0 count for Eli Thurman. Another one misses the zone there.
6 putouts by Banez so far.
My goodness. There's no question about his abilities on defense after tonight. 2-0 pitch. Another one stays low. That one looked like, I mean, I'm telling you, it was literally like 2 feet from touching the ground, but Banez made the stop. Wroblewski stays at first. And now that one barely finding the inside of the zone.
Yeah, both bullpens look pretty busy right now. These runs start to get added onto the scoreboard after a pitcher's duel through the first 2 frames.
That one was a big breaking ball, but Eli Thurman, for the 3rd straight at bat, or plate appearance, I should say, will reach first base, the first 2 via singles, and now here on the 5-pitch walk. We'll take a look elsewhere around the league while Julian Irizarry steps up to the plate. The River Rats take it 7-3 over the Winter Park Diamond Dogs, and Currently, the Orlando Snappers up 3-2 over DeLand. That one bunted foul.
Really close. Good job by Irizarry. Just barely missed it. Would have been really nice to move both runners over. Lightning did that back in the 3rd inning to get a rally started. The River Rats 16 straight victories after beating the Diamond Dogs. And the Snappers, if they win, they'll be ahead in 2nd place, forcing the Lightning to win to tie them again.
0-1 finds the bottom of the zone there. Good job by Daniel to force Irizarry into an 0-2 count. Irizarry is 1 for 2 tonight with a single and a pop-up to short. You mentioned it. Now that we're in the second half of this season, standings are going to be so crucial. Every game is really starting to matter as that one is way inside. Lopez lost it, and both runners will advance.
Great job by Wroblewski. Might be a catcher, but does not have catcher speed. He's pretty fleet of foot, I should say, or not fleet of foot. Anyways, Wroblewski, pretty fast guy for being a catcher, and Ledger Pleasant obviously pretty fast too. And both of them great reads. That ball didn't really get away from Lopez that much at all, and they were just off to the races, and Lopez had to make the decision whether to throw down to second and risk Wroblewski coming home.
That one, another breaking ball from Daniel, but it stays outside. Looks like he's really trying to work on the command of that breaking ball. We've seen it stay outside. We've seen it come low and inside. Now it's just a matter of finding that happy medium. Still one out. Both runners are in scoring position. Fouled off.
Ooh, look out, dugout.
Dang, it looks like one of the assistant coaches might have gotten pegged by that one. I'm not sure. Looks like he'll be all right.
An infield in, of course, to protect a precious run from scoring.
So that'll be still the same situation here. 2-2 count, 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position. Another breaking ball grounded by Stafford. They're going to get Wroblewski in the rundown. Going back to third. Lopez tries to get him. Now it's Stafford with the glove, and he tags Wroblewski for the second out. So Thurmond will move over to third, while Irizarry gets all the way to second after a long stalemated rundown forced by the first baseman Stafford, who, after that sequence of events, ultimately made the tag out himself.
Yeah, I couldn't really see it on the broadcast. We were using our center field camera. Apologies for that. But Ricky, you described it perfect. And if Wroblewski had forced that throw from first base while still being a little bit closer to third, he probably could have made it back to third.
Right. And
then it would have been bases loaded, 1 down. So I see Wroblewski's idea, but he just drifted way too far off the bag. Of course, if he's closer to third base, then the first baseman might recognize that and take the sure out at first.
Yep.
At least Irizarry got to second.
Yeah, that's good base running by Irizarry to put himself in scoring position. And good on the squeeze defense for keeping that run from scoring, as Cole Bullen will start his 3rd plate appearance with just a 1-0 count here. Now that one finds the outer portion of his zone. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's been the 2nd out of each inning he's appeared in. And he lines this one out into fair territory. Bullet goes home, and Lopez does not get the throw. It sails behind the catcher, and Cole Bullen will get all the way to third base. What a sequence of events. What should have been a single for the catcher, Bullen, ends up allowing him to go to third after Banez tried to gun down Irizarry at home plate. Lopez lost the throw. It went all the way to the backstop, which allowed Bullen to go to third.
Yeah, miscue in the outfield, and really I know Irizarry is a fast runner, but that ball hit pretty shallowly. A better throw in left by Banez. You can't really ask much more from him tonight, but a better throw from him, they might have had a chance to get Irizarry. They probably would have gotten him. I mean, Irizarry looked like he was a couple steps short when that throw was getting close to Lopez. Of course, it was a dribbler at the end and just got right by him, and that eventually allowed Bolin to get to third base. So if he scores, then that is an even bigger error out in left field by Banez.
Yeah, we'll never know if that final out could have been made. Again, that it rolled a good portion of the way off the throw from Banez. Maybe that's why Lopez had difficulty corralling it, but nonetheless, the Leesburg Lightning add on 2 runs to their evening. Second multi-run inning of the night for them. Grounded on the mound, and another run scores. So Cole Bullen comes home to score. James Strom hit that one. It was a slow roller to the mound, but it ricocheted. Carter Daniel could not take care of it. He's safe at first, while Bullen scores to make it a 4-run ball game.
Not much Daniel could do. Hit off his legs and ricochet too far to get Strom out. And going back to Bullen, a great job by him. He extends his hit streak to 7 games and played 2 more RBIs. So his bat getting extremely hot. Lightning Player of the Week, and well-deserved.
Getting hot when it matters most for Leesburg. They sit in third, tied for second, I should say, with the Orlando Snappers. The 1-0 pitch is into the bottom outside corner for an even 1-1 count here. Charlie Keller is at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. It looks like Strom advances to second. The throw from Lopez was wild.
Strom, not the speediest guy. We've seen him snag a bag before, and that was kind of like a pitch out on the outer half from Daniel. Lopez had a perfect pitch to throw down on and just airmailed it. And Strom, as I mentioned, isn't the speediest guy ever, so a better throw. It's going to be a bang-bang play. Not saying that Strom would have been out for sure.
And now Keller grounds one over to Marlowe. Another 4-3 put out for the University of West Georgia commit. So, finally, the Winter Garden Squeeze get themselves out of the 5th inning, but not before the Leesburg Lightning get themselves another 3-run inning and put themselves up 6-2 after 5. Nico Banez set to make his 3rd plate appearance of the evening. He led off the game and then was, unfortunately for him, the final out of the 3rd inning. A strikeout and a fly out to left tonight for him. Called strike 1, gets things started here in the 6th. To recap, the bottom of the 5th, Leesburg putting on 3 runs to extend their lead to 4. after some base hits and fielding errors, allowed Thurmond, Irizarry, and Bullen all to round the bases.
And the Lightning do what the Lightning do best, and that's putting up a crooked number. 3 spots in the 3rd and 5th inning. And they've just done a great job all year at not just scoring 1 run, but playing a couple more after the fact. And little surprised to see Fitzgerald out there, but of course Lightning got 3 back, so they extend their lead and give another shot.
Breaking ball barely misses the upper outside corner of Nico Banez's zone. And you mentioned it, they've done that a lot this summer, put up multiple runs in innings. As Banez hits a grounder out into left field for a base hit. Reaches past the outstretched glove of Ryan Jenkins, who tried to make a play for it, but unsuccessful, so it'll be a single for the left fielder.
Yeah, good deal of hitting. Hit it where it's pitched and able to get the leadoff runner aboard. And I would assume it'd be a pretty tight leash for Fitzgerald with Coach Billings, and I think Pettycourt already pretty warmed up out there.
Breaking ball misses just outside again, this time for Jordan Marlowe. Marlowe got his first hit in 6 games back in the 4th inning. Eventually scored the first run for the Squeeze. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful. Looks like we got a decent amount of Squeeze players chilling over in the left side bullpen. I'm assuming whoever is being scheduled to relieve Carter Daniel is ready. Marlowe grounds that one to Strom, turns it to second base, and they get it right back to him. So that'll be a 3-6-3 double play turned by the Leesburg Lightning. It's Strom to Sokaras, back to Strom. They get Banez and Marlowe out on the base pass for a double play. Another one turned by Leesburg, and that'll be it for Riley Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a tight leash, and it is. Even after getting the double play, bases cleared, Billings still wants to go to another arm, and he just likes to get as many guys in as he can and give them some playing time. But a great job by Fitzgerald, able to induce 2 2 double plays, 1 ground ball, 1 line out, and a good job by the defense to help him out where he struggled a little bit. So we'll see a new pitcher on.
So after Riley Fitzgerald forces a 3-6-3 double play, he'll be relieved by Austin Pettycourt.
Pettycourt making his 5th appearance has been really good for the Lightning. 2.70 ERA, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. his last outing for the Lightning came back on the – no, that was against the Squeeze. Excuse me, back on the 20th. That was in one of the games of the doubleheader. Pitched 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit.
So it looks like Andrew Duncan will be nicked barely on his jersey, it looks like, by the pitch from Austin Petticourt. He will be okay, though, so he'll jog 90 feet and take the walk with 2 outs. But continue.
No, I was just saying that pitched well in the one of the games of the doubleheader. Didn't give up a run. Walked 1 batter. Struck out 3 in his 2 innings pitched. Just unfortunate nicking Duncan, allowing him to get on base, and now has to face a hot Drew Pines.
So Drew Pines tonight is actually, I believe he might be 0 for 1 because when he did reach base, it was off of the error. So might be 0 for 1, but grounds it to third there. Jenkins makes the easy throw over to Ledger Pleasant at second to get out. Andrew Duncan. So that'll be it for the top of the 6th inning as Riley Fitzgerald and Austin Petticourt work their way through the squeeze batters in only 4 as Leesburg is still up by 4 heading into the bottom of the 6th. Carter Daniel still out there for the Winter Garden Squeeze. Actually,
Now batting for the Lightning, number 1, Ryan
trying to get a clear look because unfortunately the numbers on these jerseys are so similar. Sometimes up here in the press box we do not get a clear view. I believe it may actually be Jack Hershey on the mound for Winter Garden now. First pitch to Ryan Jenkins is fouled off. Yeah, that is going to be Jack Hershey. Number 23, Jack Hershey. Now wide breaking ball sails low and outside. Taking a look at Hershey's numbers this summer. 6 relief appearances, 7 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 9 runs allowed, 7 of those earned, 6 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So he can be a strikeout thrower when you need him to be, but obviously wants to keep the rest of those numbers just a little bit lower. 1-2 count here. Breaking ball almost hits the helmet of Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah, just a little bit of high heat. Nothing that Jenkins can't handle or brush off.
So it's now a favorable 3-1 hitters count. And a call, strike 2. Jenkins tried to get his call there, but he'll have to take another batting stance. I think I couldn't quite tell if Carter Daniel was still out there or not, but then I realized this guy has a little bit less hair. Jenkins pops this one up high in the air down the left field line, and there to make the catch is Isaac Incinelli, the shortstop. So 1 up, 1 down here, forced by Jack Hershey.
It's going to be hard for the Squeeze to silence the Lightning bats, but if they can, they're running into really good bullpen right now, and it's going to be really tough and a little unsure why they're going to take pitcher out of the game right now.
So it's going to be a mound visit.
No, it's going to be a pitching change.
Yeah, so it'll be a pitching change here for the Squeeze. It looks like it may be Zachary Allen, and I'm going to just try to get one last look here and make sure, because obviously for stats reasons, yes, that is Jack Hershey. We can confirm that is Jack Hershey that was just in for the one batter, but it looks like they're now bringing out a new one. Looks like it's a lefty. So it's most likely Grant Carlton, unless, actually it might be Jack Sanchez.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out during the break, and we'll let you know. It's a little tough to see the jersey numbers from here, but we'll be back in a moment with a new pitcher.
So after only one batter, Jack Sanchez will come into relief for Jack Hershey. Sanchez out of Kaiser University. Breaking ball outside to Marco Moises for a 1-0 count. So far this summer, he's pitched 4 2/3 innings, only allowed 3 runs, all of those earned, 2 hits, 7 walks, and 5 strikeouts. 2-0 count is outside for ball number 3.
Just really interested why they make the pitching change. It can't be about matchups. I know Moises is a lefty, and so is Sanchez on the hill, but it's just one batter. It's very odd.
Moises immediately walks over to first base. All of those pitches from Sanchez were outside.
Next up for the Lightning, it'll be number 14.
So they'll bring up TJ Sokaras, who hit the single and scored the first one of the game for Leesburg back in the 3rd inning, and then flew out to left field his last time up to end the 4th. Only 1 out for the Lightning, and that one finds the zone.
Sokaras reached base twice, a walk and a hit by pitch.
So another one misses the zone. Actually, it's going to be called a strike 2. Sokaras will step off the plate and regroup here. 0-2 count for the shortstop. And he hits this one high, out into left center, and the catch made by Andrew Duncan. So Marco Moises will retreat back to the first base bag after Sokaros hits into an F8 for out number 2.
Just got a little under it. Good swing. Still seeing the ball really well. Probably wishes he could have that one back.
So the throw from Lopez just misses. Marco Moises gets himself a stolen base. Good jump by the extra hitter.
Yeah, and Moises had actually been struggling with caught stealings. He's really fast, but it just run into some really good arms. And looking at his stolen bases, was 1 for 4 coming into this game. So now 2 for 5, but do not see that too often, especially from a guy who's just so fast in general.
One count here for Nick Robluski. Now that one is in for strike number 2.
Really good breaking ball. Floated perfectly into the zone. It's tough to hit.
Now that one fouled off, so it'll stay a 1-2 count here. One-two count is fouled off once again. Robluski doing everything in his power to keep himself in this at-bat here against Jack Sanchez. Another breaking ball is popped up down the right field line, and it lands foul.
Long run. Not much Walker could do that out there in right field. Good to see Marco Moises hustling around.
Robluski doing a great job of fighting off pitches here against Sanchez. This one goes high now for Robluski. So the first in quite some pitches that actually adds to the count.
I'm sorry. It was Robluski with the walk and the hit by pitch, not Sokaros.
And now this one is going to be a passed ball. Another one finds the backstop, which means Moises will move over to third.
Tough for Lopez, extending as high as he could go and unable to grab it. And now another run just standing 90 feet away. See what Robluski can do here.
Full count with 2 outs. Breaking ball barely misses the inside of the zone. Good plate discipline by Nick Robluski as he just took a 9-pitch at-bat for a full count walk, moves himself to first, runners on the corners.
Great eye by Robluski. And a good job forcing a payoff pitch to come, and earns himself another well-deserved walk.
Oh, 1 count as Sanchez fires the first one into the zone against the caboose hitter Ledger Pleasant. Beautiful breaking ball finds the bottom there.
Yeah, it's almost unhittable for Pleasant. That ball technically coming towards him as a lefty pitcher facing a righty, but it barely gets to the outer part of the plate.
That one stays high for ball number 1. Obviously, in that situation, a lot of pitchers don't want to go 3 straight in the zone, but nonetheless, Leesburg potentially down to its last pitch. Breaking one stays high. Looks like Lopez is just having difficulty all the way around tonight with corralling pitches. Not sure if it's a mitt issue or...
Yeah, I think Wroblewski taking second spooked him a little bit and was unable to get the ball out, but probably wouldn't have thrown down to second anyway.
And now that one way
Great grab, though.
Outside. Yeah, that would have almost certainly been a score from third by Marco Moises. So Leesburg now potentially down to its final pitch because it's a full count with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Sanchez fires that one in for strike number 3. They'll give him the looking strikeout for the final out of the 6th inning. So the Squeeze get out of this one in 5 batters, but they still trail by 4 as we're 2/3 of the way through this contest. Welcome back here to Pat Thomas Stadium. We're ready to kick off the 7th inning. Just want to make a clarification. Carter Daniel was never in the game. We apologize for misreading some jersey numbers. That was actually Jack Hershey the entire time. But Vic Maslia will take over the last third of game number 4 between the Lightning and the Squeeze.
Thank you, Ricky. Once again, sorry about that. Those jerseys so hard to read from here, and when nobody lets us know, we just go with what we're thinking and what we can see. So sorry for the confusion, folks. But glad we got that sorted out. Austin Petticourt back out there facing Sean Stafford, Zach Walker, and Isaac Incinelli. Stafford, that home run back in the 4th inning. Or, excuse me. That was Isaac Incinelli. Stafford had the RBI double back in the 2nd. I knew he did something big.
Yeah, he was
about to go crazy.
Yeah, he yanked that one.
Into the top of the 7th inning. Started at 7:30, so we're about 2 hours down. About on the right pace.
Yeah, thank goodness, especially after that half-hour delay.
Snappers just 1 out away from getting a win over the Suns 3-2. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Wow.
So that would force the Lightning to have to win to stay in 2nd place. Petticourt ready 0-2. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Sean Stafford. 1 for 2. Strikeout back in the 2nd. And I talked about that RBI double back in the 4th. 1-2 offering. Popped up left field. Irizarry coming in. It's Ryan Jenkins who goes out, and in foul ground, he makes the grab for out number 1.
Again, those are just the pop-ups that I, as someone who has never played organized baseball, like I watch them, and obviously they're routine, but at the same time, you know, tracking them and lining yourself up, it just seems so fascinating to me.
Those ones not as routine as normal ones where they're drifting out, especially if they're drifting to the side and they're drifting back.
Okay.
But no, those ones are way harder than some of the other ones, like the can of corn ones where they don't really have to move. But all pop flies to beginners are difficult.
Yeah.
You know, you said it, getting your glove under the ball. So the batter now is Zach Walker. Line into a double play to Sokros, who fed it to Ledger Pleasant, and that ended the 4th inning and killed a squeeze threat. Petticourt ahead again, 0-2. It's been Walker, Fitzgerald, and Petticourt. Righty out of Southeastern, comes set right below the letters. Delivers an 0-2. Floated outside, had a lot of run to it. They'll appeal down, but it didn't go.
Yeah, that one was, it looks like it started kind of on the line where he released, but it drifted outside. Super close take there by Walker.
One-two pitch. Floated towards Sokros at short, and it gets under his glove. It'll be a base hit.
Yeah, it's got to be a base hit for Zacharias Walker. A bit of a blooper. Obviously, Sokros did everything he could to stop it, but I think even if he did, realistically, Walker was going to have a very solid chance of making it safely.
First hit given up to a lefty batter for Petticourt.
Wow.
They were 0 for 4 coming into this game.
Wow.
And it looks like there'll be a pinch runner to run in place for Zach Walker.
Pinch runner for the squeeze is number 7, Brady White.
Brady White is the pinch runner. Zach Walker, one of the best bats, now taking the bat out of his hands going into the last 3 innings. See if that comes back to bite the squeeze. First pitch called strike to Incinelli. Seen Brady White plenty. No balls, 1 strike. See if the Lightning can get another ground ball. Instead, a pop fly. Another chance for Jenkins as he drifts towards foul ground, and he makes the grab. Just short of that warning track and short of the squeeze bullpen. So 2 flyouts to Jenkins, sandwiched in between a single from Zach Walker.
Yeah, he does it again. Got himself another pop-up there, and that's the first time Incinelli's been forced out.
Batter Derek Lopez been having a little bit of a rough day behind the plate. An error thrown down to second base that allowed Moises to advance. A couple pass balls he's let go by. That
pitch there from Petticourt, I don't think it necessarily slipped out of his hand, but it definitely had a weird release. I'm surprised it landed where it did.
1 ball, no strikes. Here it is. Grounded foul.
See if we can get this replay here. Obviously, there's a solid delay. Yeah, it was. I'm just going to go on a hunch and say it was a late release.
Yeah, and the Snappers officially locked that game up against the Suns, taking it 3-2. So they are a half game above the Lightning in second place.
Yeah, the Suns have just had it rough lately.
1-1, grounded towards the middle. Sokros is there. He'll step on second and take the easy route for out number 3. Petticourt does his job and works around the 1-out base knock to Zach Walker. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left on base as we head to the stretch. A 6-2 score still for the Lightning. Bottom of the second inning, leading things off is the leadoff batter, Eli Thurman, against Jack Sanchez. A couple defensive changes. Of course, Brady White came in to pinch run for Walker. He will take over for Walker in right field. And Braden Weckman has come in to replace Banez in left. First pitch swing in, Thurman fouls this out of play.
Yeah, we got new fielding substitutions for Winter Garden. It'll be Brady White in place of Zacharias Walker in right, while Braden Weckman takes over for Nico Banez.
Thurman so far has reached base all three plate appearances, a walk in his last plate appearance, and then back-to-back singles, an RBI single back in the third inning. 1-1 low and in miss from Sanchez.
Yeah, Thurman has been excellent tonight.
Two-one offering from the lefty. A bloop into right field. Brady White coming in. He'll make the grab. First test out in right, and he passes.
Yes, somewhat easy catch for Brady White to make. Obviously, Winter Garden only down to its last 6 outs here, but we'll see what happens here.
Called strike to Julian Irizarry. Had a 2 RBI single back in the third inning. Gonna be tough to pick the Lightning player of the game once again. A lot of productivity, 1 through 10. One ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Tough lefty at bat for Irizarry. Grounds it the opposite way, and Sinelli fields, throws, and a good stretch by Stafford to get the fast-running Irizarry. 2 down.
Yeah, Stafford really had to lean and extend his arm for that one, but great job by Incinelli making the flip throw and getting the second straight batter out.
First 6-3 put out for the squeeze.
Wow.
Incinelli's had a couple of flyouts he's handled, but no ground balls.
Yeah, and compared to yesterday, still just back-to-back quiet activity days on the fielding side of things for Incinelli.
Cole Bull in the batter. Hits it the opposite way, too, this time to Jordan Marlowe. And he puts the final touches on the bottom half of the 7th inning. A quiet bottom of the 7th. The Lightning go down 1-2-3. It sends us to the 8th inning. Still a 6-2 lead for the Lightning. top of the 8th inning. Carson Hendrickson, the new pitcher for the Lightning, and we just recently saw him. 6.14 ERA in 4 appearances. He's 1-0, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, just 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. So he can get the punchies and can limit free passes as well. And mentioned we just saw him on the 21st, so a couple days ago, back on Saturday, actually. And he pitched just an inning, a clean inning at that. No hits, no runs, no walks, got a strikeout. And he is on to face 9, 10, and 1.
And that's obviously a benefit of head coach Rich Billings' style of using his arms is, guys can, go multiple times in a weekend if necessary.
First pitch is low and into Waddingham. Jack Waddingham, the extra hitter, 0 for 2. First pitch is swung on and missed.
Yeah, Waddingham is at the plate after Lopez grounded out into the shortstop.
Swung on and missed again from Hendrickson. Hendrickson stands 5'11", 160. Not the biggest guy out there, but does have overpowering stuff. Those 10 strikeouts in just 7 1/3. And way ahead on Waddingham with a 1-2 count. Here it is. Hit well into left center field. Eli Thurman giving it chase. He lays out. Does he have it? No, the ball dropped. Firing it in is Irizarry. A great attempt by Thurman. He's unable to come up with it. It's a leadoff double from Jack Waddingham to start the 8th.
Yeah, that was a Herculean effort by Eli Thurman out in center field, doing everything he possibly could to make the grab, and just unfortunate that another one was not corralled by the Lightning.
Next up, number 35 of the year,
Calzadilla, the batter, also 0 for 2 coming into this at-bat. Pinch runner at second.
Yep, looks like it'll be Michael Thomas.
So Michael Thomas will run at second base in place for Jack Waddingham. First pitch misses to Calzadilla.
Pinch running to the squeeze, number 20, Michael Thomas.
High chopper out to third. Jenkins throws to first, and he gets Calzadilla, but it does advance Michael Thomas to third base. So a runner 90 feet away with just one down. Top of the order is up. It's not Nico Banez. It's going to be Braden Wickman.
Yeah, he had to flip it out there pretty quickly. Good job by Jenkins to grab it about head high and flip it over to first.
First pitch misses low and away from Hendrickson.
This is going to be Weckman's first batting appearance of the evening.
That was Hendrickson's 7th base hit allowed and 3rd double, so almost half the hits he's given up have been doubles, which is interesting. But batter is still just batting .231 against him. 2-0 finds the zone.
Taking a look at Weckman's numbers for the summer so far, batting just under .260. 8 hits, 10 runs scored, 2 RBIs, 3 walks.
2-1 is a base hit into center field. That's going to score Michael Thomas. It's an RBI single for Braden Wickman in his first at bat.
Yeah, good job there by Thomas. And obviously Wickman getting himself, that'll be his 9th hit of the summer.
Batter now Jordan Marlowe. A base hit back in the 4th. So he pops this one into foul ground. Jenkins another chance racing over. So is Julian Irizarry. He will call off Jenkins and make the grab. just in foul territory. A lot of balls hit over there. It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. I mean, we've seen a ton of plays over the left side, whether it's Irizarry or Jenkins, or if was Nico Banez or Calzadilla. Just a ton of balls hit to the left side towards foul ground, more for the squeeze bats.
Yeah, most of the guys tonight have been righty hitters, so a lot of pulls. And interestingly enough, again, we've talked about it, because there's no wind tonight, that's happening by nature, by force, not with wind.
And I think if there was wind, at least blowing right to left, it would affect a lot of these balls, and a lot of them would probably go out of play.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But obviously the big foul ground at Pat Thomas Stadium helping out.
That is very true.
All of these fielders have a lot of room to work with. 1-0 count onto Andrew Duncan. The pitch, a ground ball towards short. Sokaros will go to second and gets Weckman just in time as he was heading into the second base bag. So a good job by the Lightning defense. Carson Hendrickson strands a runner at first base as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Still a 6-3 lead as Michael Thomas came around to score. Bottom of the 8th inning, last chance for the Lightning to add some more insurance, and they'll try to do it off of a new pitcher on the hill for the squeeze.
Yep, it's going to be Daniel Ortiz coming in, assumingly the final one of the night for Winter Garden. One of the best relievers, actually, for Winter Garden this summer. We'll talk about his numbers after this first pitch.
The righty delivers. Breaking ball, found the outside part of the zone.
Yep, so it looks like it's going to be 9 total innings across the summer for Ortiz.
Looped into left field. That one's going to lay down for a base hit. James Strom has an opposite field knock. That's his second of the game.
Yeah, Strom has kind of picked it up here in the second half of this contest. Good job by him there, hitting the blooper out into left. But finishing off the rest of Ortiz's numbers for the summer, actually that's going to be 10 total innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 12 walks, 17 strikeouts.
Charlie Keller, the batter, An oddly quiet night for him. 0 for 3, a couple flyouts and a ground out. Haven't seen that lately at all. He's been swinging a hot stick.
Yep. And for a guy having a night like this is where Ortiz can really capitalize. I mean, I just read off those numbers. 17 strikeouts in 10 innings is great, but those walks, going to try to bring them down.
Not the best team to try to bring it down against.
Yeah.
Keller hits this to left field as well, but under it is Weckman, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So
is there
0
like
for
a
4.
magnet or something out there, man? I mean,
Another F7. Actually hadn't seen one off the bat of the Lightning since the 4th inning, at least a fly ball that was caught, or excuse me, the 5th inning. That was a great grab by Bañez.
Oh, wow. Everybody is just, yeah.
Ryan Jenkins will bat. Switched up his batting gloves. Doesn't have the hot pink ones on.
Wow, he did have them, didn't he?
One 0 from Ortiz. Jenkins squared but pulls it back.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Calzadilla may be wearing hot pink ones tonight, but we see all kinds of different colors across the league. I think some of the Lightning batters have like bright yellow ones.
2-0 finds the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lightning just under the River Rats for leading the league in walks with 110. 2 1s in the dirt. Good eye by Jenkins. Both other games are final. Rats won 7-3. Snappers won 3-2. Hitters count for Jenkins with Moises on deck. Runner goes. Pitch is softly grounded towards third. Calzadilla charges and makes a good throw in time to get Jenkins.
Barehanded, my goodness.
And Strom advances to second. Whether or not he was going, there was just going to be one play.
Right, and given the speed of the roller and everything, that might be the first successful true barehanded play made by the Squeeze this summer. Taking a look at the replay here. Yeah, that's just a great throw by Calzadilla.
That one gets away from Lopez. Another wild pitch from the Squeeze, and Strom will advance to third. Batter Marco Moises.
Yeah, Lopez also has had his work cut out for him tonight.
Moises a hit back in the 4th, a walk in the 6th. So he's 1 for 2 with that fly out back in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. An insurance run standing 90 feet away. The Lightning do hold a 3-run lead, so it would be a save opportunity once again if they don't score another run. 1-1 just misses off the plate.
Yeah, so taking a look at the Lightning batters, like we said, all but 3 batting at least 200. Moises, the second best as of now, with a .313 batting average.
2-1. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Lightning have used 4 pitchers, honestly on the lower side than usual. Same with the Squeeze.
Do you happen to know the most you guys have used in a game this summer?
3-1 misses downstairs to Marco Moises, a 5-pitch walk. I don't. I would have to say 7. I don't think we've eclipsed more than that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say 7.
Yeah, that seems like a fair guess, because if 4 is on the low side, then you guys typically use 5, maybe 6. I would think 7 is like the most you guys have, yeah.
A lot of high-scoring games in the early parts of the season, so
yeah,
assuming that's where they came in.
Right.
TJ Sokras, the batter. Runners at the corners, 2 down. First pitch he sees, breaking ball misses inside. Good stop by Lopez. Tomorrow the Lightning will be back here at Pat Thomas Stadium facing the DeLand Suns. Moises stays put, pitches outside.
Yeah, so unfortunately for DeLand, 5-3 start, and they now
I think it was 5-1 start. They won 4 straight games, then lost, then won, so 5-1. And
then since then
they lost 10 straight and won the other day.
So a 5-1 start, and after tonight, 1-12.
I think they lost 11 straight games,
Yeah.
and then won the other day, and then now lost back in the loss column against the Snappers.
Yeah.
3-0 to Socorros. Ortiz finally finds the strike zone.
Yeah, that's baseball, man.
The Diamond Dogs just 2 wins this season. Really been struggling. Runner goes, 3-1 is fouled, so Moises will have to head back.
Yeah, obviously, like we talked about, Ortiz really just trying to look to keep that command up. Obviously, he has that strikeout power, but just got to keep it concise.
Count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Here it is. A chopper out towards Marlowe at second. He gloves and throws to get Socorros, and that will eliminate the Lightning threat in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Leesburg leaves 2 stranded as we head to the top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the squeeze, and another save opportunity for the Lightning. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back. 6-3, Lightning lead at Pat Thomas. Top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the squeeze, and not the guy they want to face. It's the flame-throwing righty, Jose Paniagua, and he's been almost perfect this entire season. A 1.23 ERA, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So almost 2 strikeouts per 7 innings. Gabriel Rodriguez, the batter. Paniagua actually gave up his first run back on the 20th against the squeeze in that doubleheader. Gave up 1 earned run in his 2 innings pitched, 2 hits. First pitch he throws is a called strike on the outer half.
Yeah, so it looks like Rodriguez will be coming in for Drew Pines.
Yeah, Drew Pines finished with that strikeout back in the first inning, reached on an error, and then grounded out. So very quiet night for him. Good job by the Lightning pitching staff
Absolutely.
not letting the Squeeze's best player beat them. 2-1 pitch, just a bit outside, and man, Paniagua's bringing it. You can tell from up here.
Yeah, I mean, from the first time I ever saw him throw, I mean, I can tell he puts everything into his pitches.
3-1 called strike. Rodriguez thought that was ball 4.
You mentioned good job on them for stopping Pines. I saw a clip on TikTok. It was from the Pardon My Take podcast.
Payoff pitch in the dirt. Paniagua falling off the mound on that last one. That's just his 5th walk, given up in 7 1/3. I shouldn't say 5th. That's a fairly average number, especially for Lightning pitchers. And it's going to be another pinch hitter. Man, they're making it tough on us up here.
Yep, it'll be Mason Mojica.
You went for Sean Stafford.
But yeah, so in that video, I don't watch the podcast every day or whatever. But basically, they interviewed Tarek Skubal and they asked him, you know, sometimes what's something that you really like pride yourself on when you're on the mound? And he's like, if I can get an Ohtani or an Aaron Judge or like a Freddie, like the best hitters in the league, if I can just keep them to a single or worse, I call that a success. And that's what they've done tonight with Drew Pines.
Yeah, absolutely. Next offering, check swing, they'll appeal. He say he did not go.
Yeah, and obviously, like we already know, when a guy like Paniagua comes in after Henriksen, it's such a drastic change in speed.
2-0 finds the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. With Mojica coming in to hit, that's the 5th change for Coach McDaniel.
Yep.
Swung on and missed. Paniagua got him with the fastball, and Mojica late. 2-2's the count.
And that's the thing is, you know, you think you got a guy figured out, and then all of a sudden he just throws gas right by you.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Paniagua looking for the first out in the 9th. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Went with what he knows best and what he does best, that fastball, and it is electric. Mojica just too late, and he gets a swinging K for out number 1.
Yeah, he did his best to get a hit off of Paniagua there, but my goodness. I mean, I'm assuming his fastball must reach like 95, 96, right?
We haven't gotten him on the radar this summer yet, the Yacker Tech, because he's pitched a lot of home games,
right,
and we don't have it here, but I would assume that he's touching 95, maybe 96. Brady White, the batter, called strike. If TJ Sokras was clocked at 94, he's definitely right around what TJ Sokras can throw.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit higher, but would love to see him in an away game where we can track that.
For sure.
Don't believe they have it at Horizon.
I don't think so, no.
0-1. Missed outside. Bullen thought about a snap throw to first, but thought better of it.
Yeah, but if anything, you could probably find it at
It's at the
Sanford.
I think it's at Sanford, and it's at TFA, the first academy for the Snappers. And I don't believe that Paniagua's pitched at either of those ballparks. 1-1, cut on and missed. Brady White just got a piece of it, but not enough.
Yeah, Paniagua really dealing here, trying to work at a solid pace.
Pitched in the first game of the season that was here. And I don't believe he's pitched at TFA and definitely not at Sanford since. 1-2. Missed up and away, nowhere near. On deck is Isaac Incinelli.
Yeah, he lost that one a little bit.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Brady White trying to start a rally for the Squeeze. Righty ready, now delivers. Missed again, up and away. So spurts of really good command and spurts of not so good command from Jose Paniagua. And that's how we saw him get into some trouble back in Winter Garden. Gave up the 2 walks, did have 3 strikeouts in 2 innings, but also gave up 2 hits and an earned run. 3-2, swung on and missed. Reads that fastball right by Brady White. And now 2 down for Isaac Incinelli, and he is the last hope for the squeeze, and we'll see if he can catch up to that fastball from Paniagua.
Yeah, it's a thing that's easier said than done, obviously. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts forced here by Paniagua after giving up the opening walk to Gabriel Rodriguez, but the squeeze down to their last out.
Runner goes. There's no one covering second base, so it will be an easy stolen bag for Gabriel Rodriguez. I think everyone's focused on this last batter.
Yeah.
And including Jose Paniagua, and that last fastball up in the zone. And it's just unhittable for Brady White. Might have been ball 4, but it's so hard to lay off of.
Right.
So Incinelli will try. 0-1. Oh, man, what a breaking ball. Whew.
Yeah, that was great stuff there. I mean, obviously I can understand why Incinelli didn't swing there, but
I don't know how you would swing. That ball started in the upper part of the zone and finished perfectly.
Exactly. I mean,
so
yeah.
Now both pitches working for Paniagua. Way ahead 0-2. Righty takes a look at second base. Now he delivers. A ground ball out to second. This should do it. No, Pleasant boots it. And it's going to be an E4 as Incinelli will reach, putting runners at the corners for Derek Lopez, who is the tying run.
Yeah, Incinelli, I'm sure he just did not want to go down looking in any form or fashion, but because of the speed of the pitch, that's why we saw it at least get to Ledger Pleasant with plenty of time, but unfortunately he just couldn't corral it.
Second error for the Lightning defense. E3 and E4, Strom and Pleasant having some trouble. Luckily, that E3 didn't result in a run scored, so hopefully the same here. First pitch to the batter, Derek Lopez, is fouled away. He is 0 for 3. A couple ground outs and a fly out. Rodriguez was able to move to third on that last play, so runners at the corners. Paniagua just needs one more out. 0-1, missed with a breaking ball. Didn't have as much snap.
So, I mean, he has so much movement, so much pace behind his pitches, but, I mean, the tying run is at the plate.
1-1, just gets a piece of it, fouls it back, and seems like Lopez is just not comfortable out there, not knowing what to expect, the slow breaker or that fastball. Of course, the breaking ball is not even that slow to begin with. Paniagua looks in, he gets a sign. The flame-throwing righty comes set at the belt. Now the 1-2. Again, Lopez just gets a piece of it.
That one wound up right back at home plate. But yeah, I mean, again, that change from Hendrickson to Paniagua, it's so drastic. You don't know what to do.
Lightning faithful trying to cheer on Paniagua through this last batter, hopefully. 1-2, and it hit him. So that will load the bases. Now the tying run at first. And missed bad with the breaking ball.
Yeah, just like that. Looks like the squeeze have, I guess, found some late luck here. I mean, Incinelli reaches on the error. Rodriguez was walked to begin with. And looks like, yeah, Lopez just got hit by the pitch there.
And there is a arm warming up in the bullpen. I believe it's Ethan Barrett for the Lightning, but I think Coach Billings is just going to have a talk with Paniagua on the hill.
Right, and you know, when you bring in Paniagua late into the game like this, I mean, you got to at least give him a chance to close it out, especially with how hard he throws.
So hopefully some words of wisdom from Coach Billings will help out Paniagua, who again, for the second straight outing, has struggled. Gave up the leadoff walk, got back-to-back strikeouts, and really should be out of this game. So I take that back. Paniagua really hasn't struggled besides some command issues in that leadoff walk, but should be out of this ballgame. Lightning should have a win if Ledger Pleasant makes that play at second. That has since prolonged the game. Michael Thomas is the batter. Bases full of squeeze.
And just like that, the Squeeze have all of a sudden found themselves in an interesting position. Go-ahead run is at the plate.
First pitch to Thomas, takes a big hack at that. Paniagua set at the belt, the 0-1. Missed, and Bolin drops it, but doesn't get too far away from him. So Rodriguez has to stay put at third.
That was a great stop by Bolin.
One ball, one strike. Bases juiced for the Squeeze. The pitch, swung on and missed again. Paniagua blowing that fastball right by him.
Yeah, Thomas really trying his best to see if he can get a read off of Paniagua, but like you said, just getting it right by the bat.
Once again, the Squeeze down to their final strike. The righty delivers a 1-2. Swung on and missed. The Lightning win it. Thomas couldn't catch up to the high heat, and Paniagua just blowing it right by the Squeeze in the top of the ninth. So the final score is 6-3. The Lightning win, and Paniagua just a great job at striking out the side. We will take a break, and we will come right back and wrap things up for you. The Lightning take it 6-3. Welcome back. Good news. The Lightning win it 6-3, the final score. Saw a really sound game once again from Leesburg. Good pitching, good hitting. Put up the 3 spot in the 3rd inning and another 3 spot in the 5th inning. And it was just all around a great game. And the Squeeze suffer another loss, and they are further and further from getting back to 500.
Yeah, so that puts the Leesburg Lightning at 12-7.
Yes.
So that means that the Squeeze are now at 7-12, but because the Suns lost, keeps them at that number 4 spot, which is that oh-so-sweet spot that the bottom 3 teams are going to be trying to compete for moving down this stretch to get into the playoffs. And luckily for you guys, y'all are still tied for 2nd in the Florida Collegiate Summer League. But you mentioned it, the Squeeze, I mean the Lightning once again doing what they've done pretty much all year long, and that's getting a lot of runs in bursts. And they got those 3 in the 3rd and then another 3 in the 5th, which ultimately set the tone for the rest of the game as you guys take it 6-3, while the Squeeze were actually, I guess in terms of when runs scored and how often, they were a little bit more consistent. They got the 1 from Marlowe in the 4th, 1 from Incinelli in the 5th, and then 1 from Rodriguez in the 8th inning. So obviously not enough to overcome this Lightning team, but overall I think what I noticed here today was, well, first of all, everything was just going to the left side. I don't know how or why that happens so often today, but outside of that, the Lightning pitching, I guess, today really was more concise and more, I guess, you guys did not have as many instances of giving up that many runs in bursts as opposed to earlier in the season. But then again, like we already talked about, I guess all across the league, teams are really going to start tightening down on their mistakes, on their defense, their pitching. So we'll see how things go moving forward. The best bat of the night for Winter Garden absolutely had to be Isaac Incinelli. Had the solo shot, went 2 for 3 at the plate with a run and an RBI. Andrew Fury was pretty okay on the mound today. Not as good as he has been In his previous outings, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned, unfortunately, 1 walk and a strikeout. So we'll see how he bounces back as the season progresses. But obviously the relief pitching just could not hold up with the Lightning tonight.
So Leesburg takes it. That's 3 straight. And as we mentioned, they are 12-7 and back in second place, tied with the Snappers, who also have a 12-7 record. So the finals for tonight, the Squeeze, 3 runs on 9 hits and 3 errors. So some sloppy play from them, but also from the Lightning as well. 6 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors for the Lightning, who take it 6-3, which is the final score. We'll see you tomorrow night. It's the Suns versus the Lightning at 7 o'clock. So for my partner, Ricky Potts, I'm Vic Masley saying so long and good night.